All right, Miles, let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. As you always remind me, we are contractually obligated to mention, but this is a Chiefs football team that over the past couple of years has been arguably, and I would say not even arguably, they are the smartest team in football, the way they go out and manage their roster and bring in players. And we've got a very interesting story about a next level thinking that the front office of the Kansas City Chiefs have been doing that I think really pushes them over the edge and gives them a key advantage.
Yeah, Nick, I'm glad you remember contractually obligated to mention Super Bowl champion Chiefs. We wouldn't want to mess that up. But like you said, they have hit numerous times throughout the draft the last couple of years, and they've really bolstered their positions on their team very, very smartly. They look like geniuses year in and year out. But today we want to ask the Chiefs fans about another storied position on this roster and go ahead and go back through the annals of history. And who is your favorite running back in Chiefs history? Let us know in the comments below. There's a lot of really great answers. One that's at the top of my head, but let me know in the comments below who's your favorite Chiefs running back of all time. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear a word from our partner, Neuro. You can hear about their products. They give you a quick and easy boost of energy. I love to take the mints right before the show, keep me sharp, keep us focused and on task. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear more about Neuro's products and to get your hands on our discount code. But Nick, nonetheless, what is the latest in the bevy of smart moves that the Chiefs have made?
Yeah, so it's interesting that you bring up running back, Miles, because that's obviously the story of the day and how to go out and evaluate and allocate capital, whether it's dollars in free agency or draft picks via the draft at the running back position. It's still a very important position, but the way the NFL is structured, especially with the salary cap now, it has fallen by the wayside because running backs, let's face it, metaphorically speaking, they die young, their careers end early. They often have a few really good years and then they fan out really quickly due to injuries or losing a step or whatever. So very few teams over the past half decade or so have done anything remotely good when it comes to drafting and evaluating and re-signing running backs, except maybe the Kansas City Chiefs. It looks like the Chiefs have stumbled upon a secret formula of how to evaluate and bring in the right running backs at the right time into the fold. And let's go into the report. The first half of this is courtesy of the Kansas City Star. Miles, you pull it up, I'll read from it. The Chiefs, in the last two drafts at least, have appeared to be targeting a specific type of running back, speedy, but also with good size. One way to best single out those running back is using an advanced measure called Speed Score, first established by Bill Barnwell in 2008. Speed Score looks to give proper credit to bigger backs who run fast 40 times. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Bill Barnwell has been a long-time NFL writer. He's a big analytics guy, loves crunching the numbers. Highly recommend reading anything he does. And Speed Score is basically putting a number on the fact that it's a lot better when bigger running backs run fast than if smaller running backs run the same speed. Makes sense, right? You'd rather have a bigger guy who runs just as fast as a smaller guy, but this is a way to quantify it and use some analytics to grade it. So it looks like that's what the Chiefs are doing. So back to the report. So who led all 2022, going back to last year, draft eligible players in Speed Score? That would be the Chiefs' Isaiah Pacheco, whose 118.5 mark edged out second place Breece Hall, who was drafted in the second round by the New York Jets. And this year, first round running backs Jahmyr Gibbs, 110.1, and Bijan Robinson, 108.7, ranked second and third among pre-draft players in Speed Score. But both of them remained behind one person, Deneric Prince at 114.2, whom the Chiefs picked up as an undrafted free agent after he ran a 4.41 second 40-yard dash. Miles, I think this is just an outstanding example of thinking smart and thinking differently. Everyone has struggled to evaluate the running back position, trying to find the right players at the right time in the draft. Do you sign veterans if you don't want to draft them at all? The Chiefs have really stumbled upon the smart way to use these guys, to find these guys and bring them into the fold. They use the Speed Score metric or their equivalent of it to find big, strong running backs with just enough speed, that ideal combination to bring them into their offense and to be productive. And look, it's not that just the Chiefs do it. There's been a lot of advanced analytics looking at if the Speed Score is a strong predictor of future NFL success at the running back position. If you look at productivity, if you go up to the next chart, this is courtesy of Brian Knowles. He did a really good job compiling this. And I'm not going to go through all the numbers here, Miles, while you throw it up there. But you notice the higher the Speed Score, that's what you see on the top part of the screen there, the 110 plus, 105, 110, the more green, right? That's the more productive you are. The lower the Speed Score, the less productive you are. And you'll notice the lower the Speed Score, the faster your career is, your production falls off a cliff. Whereas the higher your Speed Score, you're more likely to maintain that level of production longer. So it looks like, Mize, in summation, to kind of wrap this whole thing up from my end, the Chiefs have found the right way to evaluate running backs to get guys into the team, one, who will be productive, and two, be productive longer. Those have been the two biggest mysteries surrounding the rest of the NFL at the running back position, and it looks like, Mize, the Kansas City Chiefs have figured it out. All right, enough of my thoughts on this, Mize. What are you thinking about the Chiefs and just everything with this story right now?
Yeah, Nick. I mean, if you think about it, though, it's all pretty simple if you break it down to like the most basic principle. Guy who's 220 pounds and runs a 4.4 is probably going to be a little bit better of a player than a guy who's maybe 180 pounds and runs like a 4.3. You know, you got an extra 30 pounds on your frame. You might be able to, do a little bit more damage, and that tenth of a second doesn't matter as much anymore. So I think this metric is a really good indicator, and the Chiefs may be on to something here, especially in the later rounds and the undrafted rounds as well. Going after just stats, going after, get your own type of metrics together, get your own formula together, and go, hey, how can we figure out who these gems are? Like, what can we do? We can't physically look at every running back. It's impossible. So what are some metrics that we can look at to help us better in the undrafted department? And you look, they've been doing it consistently. They got Isaiah Pacheco, a late round undrafted guy who is very, very good for the Chiefs. He was extremely good last year, one of the better running backs on that roster. And now they go again, dip back in the same way, get a guy like Prince, who is 5'10", 220 almost. He was very productive as well. I believe 1,030 rushing yards last season, so that was pretty good. But I like what the Chiefs are doing. I like this metric, and I'm looking at the graph, and it's just green's good, red's bad, Nick. So the bigger you are, the faster you are. I think this is a good formula that the Chiefs have going, and I'm really interested to see if this pays off, because I think after the second time in the row doing this formula, it's going to have some more consistency to it, and we can see how accurate it is.
All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.